It's good to be back. Good to be back. Feel refreshed, excited. Great group of young men to work with, great staff. Working with Coach again. It took not even a full day to be right back, kind of the expectations, and we worked very well together. And a lot of similarities in what we believe and how we want to do things. So, and then a lot of comfort in a lot of familiar faces, players, staff, coaches, people in the department on campus. So it's been good, but I'll take some questions.
Raise your hand, we'll get your wireless mic. Start with Andy, we'll go to Andy.
Brent, what was the process like in the discussions with James about doing it? Were there any hurdles, either mentally or anything that you had to get over to come back here?
Yeah, I wasn't honestly. We talked a bunch, a little bit when I got let go, and then a little bit more frequently when he got let go. And the discussions often enough came back to Virginia Tech. Obviously, he could know a lot about the opportunity here. But until I had conversations with my wife and my family, to be honest, and kind of thought through some things, I presented the possibility to him of I'd be open to returning if, to having a discussion about it, if you in fact became the head coach at Tech. We were going to do it at other places if it worked out that way, and this one was a little bit different, obviously. So, but I wanted it to be right for me, for my wife, for him. He needed to get boots on the ground once he accepted the position and make sure it was what he would want to do. And once he was named a head coach, it was kind of like, okay, if we're presented with this opportunity, can we really do this? So it took a little bit of soul searching and to find peace with it. But I wanted to be able to walk back in the building and be myself and be positive and be appreciative. And we got to that place. And I think as he was here working through things and learning more about my experience here and what this place meant to me and how people thought about Brent Pry, I think it became, he could picture it being a real positive and celebrated, even in a situation as unique as this.
Let's go back to Eric and then Damon.
Hey, Coach. Good to see you again.
Hey, man.
James just talked about just the fact of he doesn't hire friends. He obviously brought you back for a reason.
Absolutely true
about him. You can coach
him.
ball. Through that all, he also talked about the humility you would have to be able to walk through these same doors, these same halls. Can you speak to that? And when that feeling kind of hit, like, oh, wow, all right, it's James's office now. I'm going to go here. I can coach ball. I can kind of have some sense of relief there.
It seems like a tough decision, but really it's not when you think about what's important to me and my family, and that's working with and aligning with somebody that you trust and know as a leader, as a man, and how he's going to treat people and how he's going to run the organization. I had other opportunities to be a coordinator at other places, but there was a lot of unknowns. So the knowingness, the comfort of working with James again after so many years was a real positive for me. He knows me and I know him. Secondly, I love Virginia Tech. I think everybody knows that. So a chance to continue, there was no bitterness for me. A chance to continue to help Virginia Tech turn the corner and be proud again. I want that. And this was an opportunity to continue to do that. And then my family and I love this community. My kids love Blacksburg High. We love being, here in Blacksburg and representing Tech. And so there were too many positives. That, a lot of these players that were returning, I wanted to coach these guys. I love these guys. I still want what's best for them. And now the role's just a little different in how I can help them do that.
Brent, you had a chance as a head coach to see Chris call his defense, Sam call his defense. Are you going back to your defense, or are you reinventing yourself now as you get back to a defensive coordinator role?
Yeah, that's a great question. What I believe in philosophically and fundamentally will be there. Will be the same. The package itself will be in the neighborhood of 75% of what and who we were at Penn State. To a degree, what we tried to be here at Virginia Tech early on, but certainly have grown and picked up things from other places that we've seen over the last 3-4 years that I'd like to at least research and see if it can't be part of who we are. Nick Perry's bringing great ideas. Anthony Midget's bringing great ideas. Sean Spencer, you know, what they did at Texas A&M more so, and you know, even at the New York Giants. There's some good things that these last couple of weeks, you know, we're pulling into the package that I think can allow us to be better as a scheme.
David to you, and back to Andy.
Brent, what kind of conversations did you have with Whit and maybe even some of the older players whom you had coached before taking the job and then subsequent to your acceptance?
Yeah, I think it was important, obviously, with Whit that we had his blessing to do this, you know, or to talk about it. And you know, I think he would say he certainly gave that, which was important to James, but also to me. You know, I wanted this to be right for everybody. And you know, from a player standpoint, they reached out a lot when the rumors started kind of buzzing around, and you know, there was still a lot of uncertainty if this was going to work out. But a lot of players reached out, and you know, which I appreciated. You know, one of the things that happened for me was when I was dismissed, the outpouring from the players and the department and the campus and the fan base and the community really helped put my wife and I in a good place to be able to do this. There were a lot of things that had to fall into place for James and for me, and that we were fortunate it happened that way. But you know, I love these kids, and these guys, you know, brought them here, and so these players that we had a chance to retain, and sit in there with Kamari Copeland and say, listen, this is my plan for you. This is what we want to do. You don't need to go anywhere else. You know, this is what this package can do. There's a lot of proven success on my resume, on Sean Spencer's resume, on Midget's resume. You know, we don't have to necessarily just talk these guys into who we can be. You know, you had 40 or more sacks 5 straight years Spence and I did together. So when you're talking to a defensive lineman about rush ability and being able to get to the quarterback, there's nobody that did it better. So there's a lot of things that, you know, bringing the group back together, you know, gives us some traction with guys like Kamari and these guys we were able to recruit out of the transfer portal and get to Virginia Tech. But you know, the transition, there was a lot. You know, it was a bit of a roller coaster. But most importantly, you know, James and I have the type of relationship. I know he wouldn't do this unless he believed it to be right for him and Virginia Tech. And I respect that about him. And you know, I wanted to make sure he had the time, and you know, I knew he would do his due diligence. And you know, we're fortunate it worked out. We're appreciative it worked out.
All right, we got time for one more, Andy.
Brent, when you're a head coach, there's so much on your plate, and not all of it is football and stuff you probably couldn't have ever imagined. Is there something refreshing about getting back into the granular details of coaching and being on the field and being involved in that you missed over the years?
Absolutely. You know, I missed it in year 1 and year 2. I thought I'd be in that defensive room more than I was able to. And, you know, then you're not in there enough to feel like you can go in there and impact it. And it was messy, and you didn't feel good about it. But this has been really refreshing. By the end of day 1, working with James again felt really good and comfortable. And then diving into a playbook and these individual meetings about fundamentals and techniques and putting this defensive staff together, and it was exciting. And you know, it's a completely different job task. And right now, I like it a ton more. So it's, you know, all that walking by that staff room for 4 years and wanting to be in there and wanting to, you know, now I'm in there, and we're grinding it out. We're putting a playbook together that makes sense, and we got new ideas coming. We got player meetings going on, getting ready for winter workouts in a different way. as the defensive coordinator, and mind you, as the linebacker coach, which was important to Coach and I both. You know, I've always coached a position while I was calling the defenses, and I didn't want that to be any different here, and neither did Coach. It helps the connectivity. I don't know why you would take one of your more seasoned coaches and not have them coach a position and impact the unit that way. So, yeah, it's very refreshing. Feels good.
Thanks, Coach.
Yeah, appreciate it, everybody.